Time is one of the greatest mysteries of the universe. It is present in everything we do, dictating the rhythm of life, yet its true nature remains an enigma. Is time merely an illusion, created by our minds, or does it flow objectively and inexorably, like a river that never stops? Philosophers, scientists, and theoretical physicists have been trying to decipher this mystery for centuries, and with each new discovery, more questions arise. Today, we will dive deep into the paradox of time, exploring its scientific implications, the challenges of understanding it, and even the possibility of temporal manipulation. Throughout this video, we will examine different perspectives on time, from Newtonian physics to Albert Einstein's revolutionary ideas on relativity. We will discuss how time can be affected by gravity and velocity, how it relates to space, and whether time travel might be possible. Get ready to expand your mind and question everything you thought you knew about time. After all, does the present truly exist, or are we merely navigating through a grand temporal illusion? What is time? Since ancient times, time has been an intriguing concept for humanity. Greek philosophers such as Heraclitus believed that everything is in constant change, and that time is the essence of this flow, while Plato saw time as an imperfect shadow of eternity. However, our understanding of time has evolved significantly with scientific advancements. In our daily lives, we perceive time as a continuous line, separating the past, present, and future. But does this perception reflect reality? In classical physics, Isaac Newton described time as something absolute and immutable, flowing equally for all observers, regardless of what was happening in the universe. This view remained dominant for centuries and was widely accepted until Einstein introduced his theory of relativity. Through this theory, we discovered that time is not fixed but relative, capable of slowing down or speeding up depending on gravity and the observer's velocity. In other words, two people can experience time differently, depending on where they are and how they are moving. Furthermore, in quantum mechanics, time becomes even more mysterious. Some interpretations suggest that it may not be a fundamental entity of the universe, but rather an emergent property arising from how we perceive events around us. This raises an intriguing question. Does time truly exist, or is it merely a construct of our consciousness? If time is not absolute, could we find a way to manipulate it? These questions lead us directly to one of the most fascinating topics in modern physics, the possibility of time travel. Time and Einstein's relativity. Before the revolution brought by Albert Einstein, time was believed to be a fixed and universal quantity, flowing the same way for everyone, regardless of circumstances. However, with the special theory of relativity, Einstein showed that time is elastic and can be affected by velocity. According to this theory, the faster an object moves, the slower time passes for it relative to a stationary observer. This phenomenon, known as time dilation, has been experimentally proven using atomic clocks placed aboard airplanes and satellites, which return showing slightly different times compared to clocks on Earth. In general relativity, Einstein expanded his theory to include the effects of gravity on time. He demonstrated that the presence of massive objects, such as planets or black holes, warp space-time, causing time to run slower in regions of stronger gravity. This phenomenon is so real that GPS satellites, which orbit the Earth outside the intense gravitational influence, require constant adjustments to maintain accurate measurements. Otherwise, their location calculations would become completely inaccurate within hours. These discoveries have opened the doors to a new understanding of time, showing that it is not absolute, but relative to the physical conditions of the universe. They have also led to fascinating implications regarding time travel. If we could travel close to the speed of light or approach a source of extreme gravity, we could experience time differently, potentially moving years into the future without aging at the same rate as those who remained on Earth. But does this mean that time is truly real, or is it merely an illusion generated by our perception? Does time exist, or is it an illusion? Despite all the scientific discoveries about the relativity of time, Some physicists and philosophers argue that time may be nothing more than a construct of our minds. Physicist Carlo Rovelli, for example, suggests that time is not a fundamental entity of the universe, but rather an emergent consequence of quantum processes that we perceive in a linear way. According to this view, the notion of past, present, and future may be merely an illusion of our consciousness, which organizes events in this manner to make sense of the world. Another intriguing idea is the block universe theory, which suggests that time does not flow, but that the past, present, and future already exist simultaneously. In this model, time would be like a film in which every frame is already set, but our consciousness can only perceive one frame at a time. This would mean that the future is already determined, and the sensation of change and the passage of time is just a limitation of our perception. If this is true, then time travel would not involve moving through a temporal river, but rather finding a way to access different parts of this vast cosmic block. If time is merely an illusion of the human mind, it leads us to an even greater question. What does it truly mean to exist? Are we simply experiencing a subjective flow within a timeless universe where everything has already happened and will continue to happen? Or is there still something we do not understand about the true nature of time? These questions remain unanswered, but they make us reflect on what it really means to be alive and conscious within this cosmic mystery. Time travel, myth or reality? The idea of time travel has always fascinated humanity, appearing frequently in mythology, science fiction, and even scientific theories. While it may seem impossible at first glance, modern physics suggests that certain types of time travel may be theoretically possible. As seen in Einstein's theory of relativity, moving at speeds close to the speed of light or being near an extreme gravitational field could make time pass differently for a traveler, allowing them to leap into the future. This concept, known as time dilation, has already been confirmed through experiments with atomic clocks. However, traveling to the past presents a much greater challenge. Some theoretical solutions, such as wormholes, shortcuts in space-time predicted by relativity equations, could, in theory, allow travel to the past, but so far, there is no experimental evidence that these portals truly exist. Additionally, logical problems and paradoxes make traveling to the past extremely controversial. If it were possible to go back in time and alter past events, we would be challenging the very structure of reality. This brings us to one of the greatest theoretical challenges of time travel: paradoxes. The paradoxes of time travel. Traveling to the past brings a series of philosophical and scientific dilemmas known as temporal paradoxes. The most famous of these is the grandfather paradox, which questions what would happen if a person traveled back in time and prevented the birth of one of their ancestors. If this event occurred, the traveler's very existence would be impossible, meaning they would never have traveled back in time to prevent that birth. This creates a logical loop with no apparent solution, challenging our understanding of causality. One theory that attempts to resolve this problem is the many worlds interpretation, or the branching universe hypothesis. According to this idea, traveling to the past and modifying an event would create an alternative timeline without altering the traveler's original timeline. This way, the traveler would continue to exist, but would have generated a parallel universe where the consequences of their intervention unfold differently. This interpretation, based on quantum mechanics, raises the possibility that multiple realities coexist, and that time travel is, in fact, a journey between different versions of the universe. Another perspective is the Novikov self-consistency principle, which suggests that any event occurring due to time travel is already integrated into the original timeline, preventing paradoxical changes. According to this view, if someone were to travel back in time, any action they take would already be written in history, ensuring that reality remains coherent. This principle would prevent radical changes, suggesting that time may self-regulate to avoid logical paradoxes. But if time can self-regulate, does that mean we have free will? Or are we merely following a predetermined script? Time and human consciousness. Our perception of time is deeply tied to how we experience reality. Human consciousness organizes events into a linear sequence of past, present, and future, creating the sensation of a continuous temporal flow. However, some studies suggest that this experience may be just a construct of the brain, a way of interpreting the world around us. Neuroscientist Benjamin Libet, for example, conducted experiments indicating that our decisions may be made before we are even consciously aware of them, suggesting that the perception of the present might be an illusion created by the mind. Furthermore, altered states of consciousness, such as deep meditation or near-death experiences, are often described as moments where time seems to slow down or even disappear. This raises questions about the relationship between time and the mind. Does time exist independently of our consciousness, or is it merely a perceptual mechanism created by our brains? If the latter is true, it means that the true nature of time may be beyond our understanding, something we interpret in a limited way within our human experience. Conclusion and final reflection. Time remains one of the greatest mysteries of the universe, challenging our understanding and raising profound questions about the nature of reality. Science has shown that time is not absolute, but rather relative and shaped by factors such as velocity and gravity, opening up possibilities for time dilation and even time travel. However, philosophical theories and quantum mechanics discoveries suggest that time may be nothing more than an illusion created by the human mind. Whether the past, present, and future already exist simultaneously, or whether time is just a construct of consciousness, remains an open question. What we can say for certain is that our relationship with time defines our existence, and understanding its nature may be the key to unlocking the greatest secrets of the cosmos, or at the very least, making us question whether we are truly living in the present or simply navigating through a cosmic illusion.